first and foremost, just want to say welcome to our town hall. We're so happy to have you. And it's a really dynamic month. We're super excited to share all the progress and invite you to participate in new ways and have this amazing dialogue around this process and hopefully empower all of you to be temple builders and large-scale art builders and community collaborators. So the real purpose of this is to have a participative process. So feel free to jump in with questions. We're also monitoring the chat, and our goal coming out of this is that we're clear and cohesive on how we're supporting Temple over the next month. So without further ado, I'll move on to our agenda and share some of what we have in store for you. Thank you, thank you. So we're going to have another collective grounding practice. We've really enjoyed these and we've gotten such great feedback from you all about them. And we find that it helps us, no matter where we are located digitally, to just enter the energy of the temple and like really just find something nourishing in this practice together. So we're really excited to have Cosmic Cowboy lead the practice this month. He's one of the founders of Camp Mystic, and he will be he'll be dialing us directly from, I believe, Hawaii, right, Cosmic?
Yes, Maui, Hawaii.
Lucky man. And so if we can just flip back to the agenda really quick, I'm going to continue to go through it. Thank you so much. Then we'll have Sparkle talk about our progress since the last town hall. And Sparkle is our build lead and has been just leading, in his words, cool, calm, collected build at the Loom. So thank you, Sparkle. So we have a few celebrations we want to share with you and just give you a sense of what's to come in the next month. And then we have a very exciting introduction. So we're going to be introducing Crane, who is our sound lead. And he's going to share a little bit about our vision for immersive sound in the temple this year and invite you to participate in that if that's something that's interesting to you. And then we'll talk a little bit about fundraising. We're in the last 2 days of our crowdfunding campaign, and we're over 90% to our goal, which is so exciting. Thank you all so much for sharing and for supporting and for getting us here. This is how we got here. So we have a few updates on that. We have some exciting events coming up we want to invite you to. And then Adam will lead us in a work party for a few minutes so that we can collectively basically cross the finish line together, which is so awesome. And then finally, Ajesh, who's one of our 2 community architects, will lead us in our traditional call to action for volunteers, where we talk about what we're working on this month and where we would love for you to participate both digitally and in person. And then whatever time we have left, we'll do Q&A, but also feel free to pop questions in the chat or take yourself off of mute and ask questions as we're going. So this is a conversation. We're all a team. And we're so happy you're here. So thank you for joining and choosing to spend your precious time here for the next hour with us. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Cosmic for our grounding meditation and our collective practice.
Aloha. Hey, everybody. Jonathan, aka playa name Cosmic Cowboy, and it is an honor to be here and a joy. I've known Carolyn for many years as a mystic. Me and a few others co-founded Camp Mystic in 1998. And with the exception of the pandemic years and 2 other years, I was moving here to Hawaii, I've been on playa. So I'm going to be going on my 22nd burn and 22nd year leading as a theme camp organizer. And I think what I wanted to share is just that early on, I experienced the temple on the playa. The temples morph every year, but I've always deeply revered that Burning Man has known the importance of having a sacred space, a collective sacred gathering space. And in the spirit of Burning Man, it's like Burning Man itself. It's very undefinable. It's not any specific thing in terms of a religion or a thought form. It's really open to what we as participants make it. And yet it is as much a part of Burning Man as anything else. For a lot of people, they spend much more time at the temple than they even do at the Man or anywhere else. Or it's where participants have their most cathartic and powerful experience on the playa, just because so much it's a vessel where so much transformation can take place. And so that's at the heart of Mystic as well. We're a camp that is all about trying to create visionary, artistic, and sort of soulful transformation. And so I just wanted to ground us in the temple of together And if you're able to, obviously, if you're driving or in a position where you can't, then just, of course, be safe. But if you're somewhere where you can, I'd like to invite everybody to close your eyes. And we're going to just take some time now to come into our physical bodies. So if you can relax, but sit up straight and try and shake out your physical body for a moment. And with these next few breaths, I invite you to inhale and take in a full breath. And then exhale and try and release any stress and tension that you might be holding in your physical body. So we're going to take a number of breaths where we're inhaling and infusing our body with breath. And exhaling, you can use your voice, just release fully into the physical body right now. The breath is perhaps the most powerful and fastest way that we can become present and just really embody ourselves. Continuing to take these deep breaths, I want you to focus now on the aspect of the Temple of Together as a living chalice, a living vessel, a living thing, that with every breath, we are breathing life into this temple. As Carolyn and leadership has expressed, the physical artifice that we are all creating and will be erected on the playa, incredible as it is, limited in the third dimension. It's limited to the physical. It is a structure representing something that lives within each of us. So right now, as we are in this process of building, I want you to embrace this. I want you to understand that you are a piece of the temple, and that in our efforts, we are bringing these pieces together, all of us together, to create this unity and this togetherness. And so, continuing to keep your eyes closed now, relaxed breath, I want you to take your left hand and place it on your heart center in the center of your chest. Just continue to breathe, starting to feel into the heart center, Anahata Chakra, this center of energy within our being. And I just want you to honor yourself in this moment. You can go back to some of your earliest memories and just quickly go through your life and think of all of the journeys, all of the adventures, all of the challenges and obstacles that have been overcome, all of the joys and celebrations. Think about the journey you've been on that has allowed you to reach this moment. And just fill your heart with that gratitude for being here now in this moment, perfect as you are. And now I want you to focus on all those that you love in your life, whether they're in their body or no longer in body. Just think of all the people that have contributed to your life and helped you reach this moment. Share that gratitude with them. And as you feel this gratitude and presence in your heart, just slowly, I want you to bring your hand out in front of your chest, just your left hand. So you're holding that. You're holding this precious piece that is you as a participant, as a contributor, as a volunteer in service to this cause, this mission, and this vision. And then I want you to bring your right hand about a foot apart from your left. And I want you to hold that hand facing the left hand. And the right hand represents the rest of the world and all the people that can participate and be a part of this. Everybody that you'd like to share this joy, this love, this unity, and your personal contribution to this temple, they're all represented in that right hand. And very slowly, over the next minute, I just want you to bring these hands together. And only, instead of bringing them together with force, what I want you to do is feel that almost magnetic energy of attraction, that everything in your life that has led you to this moment is attracting that right hand so that you can share and contribute it with the rest of the world. Feel that energy, bring your hands together, and feel how it magnifies as they get closer and touch. Feel the temple of together being born right now in this moment. And from your hands linked and from your heart, send this energy out into the world. Feel a beacon of light from this moment, from your place, wherever you are, going out into the world, inviting everyone to join us in this sacred temple of together. Slowly, when you're ready, you can open your eyes and see everyone else on this call and see their hands together and just feel into this as we now set on the agenda of the day and all of the parts that are going to come together. I just want to express my gratitude to all of you as burners, as participants, as volunteers, as contributors. Thank you for feeling this vision, and thank you for contributing and giving of yourself. I truly believe this temple is going to transform our world.
Thank you, Cosmic, for such a beautiful practice. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. We really appreciate it, Cosmic. And with that, we will move to how we're building this temple and joining those parts that we've visualized together, and pass it over to Sparkle Pony, who is our build lead. Hey, Sparkle, and check out where he is located for this call.
Yeah, I'm going to try to move slowly so nobody gets vertigo.
Thank you very much.
I'm getting up on the table. Okay, guys. So today's April 24th. That means we have 130 more days till we burn this thing. And hopefully you can see over my shoulder. We've got 64 beautifully done fence panels all ready to go. Then as I keep panning, you can see a really tall panel, 18 feet tall. That's the central chamber lower wall. So altogether, if you recall, we're going up to about 40 to 50 feet in the central chamber. This is the bottom 1/3, and we started prototyping that this past week. So we've got our fence done. I'm going to keep panning. And behind me, hopefully you guys can see, we've got a wood CNC machine. So we can do our wood CNC and our 200 arches in-house, and a metal CNC machine. So they're set up and running. Somebody walks in the back of the field, that'll be the electrician, but they're up and running. We're where we want to be for April 24th. We're on schedule. I do want to highlight later when Adam brings up the whole share the temple thing, we always need more resources. So please share that link and come down to the shop. That's all I've got.
Thank you so much, Sparkle. It's so exciting to see the CNC machine live and moving into action. Thank you so much for all of the leadership that you've been expressing and keeping us cool, calm, collected, and moving towards our countdown to the temple burn. Does anybody have any questions for Sparkle around our progress since the last town hall and the build before we move on? We just want to give you an opportunity to ask questions since he's at the loom and just showing us what we've been up to. Feel free to drop it in the chat or just take yourself off mute. Just want to give us an opportunity to respond. Let me open the chat. All right. Thank you, Sparkle. That's what Adam said. Oh, Dave is asking what model ShopBot are we using, Sparkle?
ShopBot 9000. So
Awesome.
It's made many a project for Burning Man.
I love it. And then Adam's asking, is the CNC hard to operate?
No, we will have training this weekend. So come on down, get trained on the wood CNC.
Do we need to be OSHA certified?
Hopefully not. But we do have goggles, gloves, and hearing protection.
Thank you. And then Jax is asking if the machines are rented, bought, or donated.
Donated. Both machines, the time on both machines are donated for the next 5 months, free of charge. So, yep.
Thank you, donors. This is so important. We'll talk about this, but it's so important for us to be able to build our temple in the most resource effective way possible and most sustainable way possible. So just a huge thank you for that. And then Ava is asking, will we be able to bring children to the build site soon?
Good question. We'll have to talk about that one.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sparkle, for the updates, and thank you for your continued leadership and for your incorporation of not only empowering volunteers who want to learn new skills, like offering this opportunity to learn how to use a CNC machine, but also really empowering people who've been building Temple for years to feel like they're welcome back and we're able to integrate both parts of our community. All right. All right, we're going to hand it over to Crane.
Right, thank you. And then admin, if you would like to unshare your screen so I can share mine. Perfect, thank you. All right, let's go presentation. Excited to give the first town hall update on sound and what has happened and where we're at and some of the ideas that are scurrying around right now. So we are here, we are in the explore phase. We already finished our wonder phase where we did a lot of research, talked to other artists from previous temples and previous temple soundscapes, man soundscapes, and aligned also with the leadership and Caroline here what the goals of sound should be. And right now we're in the phase where we're throwing out ideas and conceptualizing it and then testing it with hardware and on site. And so that hopefully in May we can make some sound decisions and implement them in our building plan and make them. So yeah, I want to share with you, what are the goals, what are the current focus, ideas, and where we would love more help. So the overall mission of the sound is that we are at service to and enhance our temple's visitors' experience through sound. So if you break that, so to be a bit more concrete, with sound, we want to build a sanctuary. We want to have a sanctuary around the temple, a sanctuary that allows you to focus on your emotional journey and maybe even separates a bit from the playa cacophony. We also have a goal that we want to try to use sound to help you enter the temple experience and sort of transition from the playa into the temple. And then the third one, for those who seek it, we are looking to using sound to support someone's emotional journey that they bring and go through at the temple. And the fourth goal is we want to look at, are there ways we can enhance healing through collective contribution with sound? So actually like letting people contribute themselves. What we wanted to avoid, we want to avoid forcing ourselves with sound on visitors' experiences that didn't want it. So if it's some active sound experience, we want them to seek it out. And we also don't want to create distractions and disrupt people's journeys. And also, as it comes to artistic expression, we want to avoid ego because everything we do is in service to the visitors and their ancestors. We also work with some constraints. We cannot create any active sound inside the main temple structure, and we basically have no money. So this is how it looked like. We will have sound possible areas, which are in green, and sound non-possible areas where we will avoid active sound. So I want to share some early ideas, like where the ideas are at. So I want to imagine you are approaching the temple, and as you come closer, and maybe you lock your bike now, maybe your ears pick up something and you feel, oh, this is different. I'm entering a new space. And so this would be active sound or some instruments or active sound outside already. So that's something we're exploring. And then as you are inside the fenced areas, but outside the main temple structure, here we could work with active sound at the gate to help you enter the temple. We also have 4 shrines. So we're looking at having sound journeys here. When you see them, the speakers are pointed either downwards or upwards because we really don't want the sound to get into the temple. The fences are also places we can work with active sound. So you see a bunch of different ideas. This is all in exploratory state. So these are like, we could have silent shrines with sound outside. So all this being explored at. Yep, this is where we are at. And fortunately, I'm not alone. We have an amazing team. We already have leads for the different goals. So Sound Sanctuary, I was leading. My first idea was, let's put some insulation panels on the fence. And then Mike and Pony were like, no, otherwise we would have to build hurricane walls. Like, we will not do that. Okay, cool. And then we looked at active sound canceling systems. Those are very expensive. So I'm looking at more policy related measures here. The Enter Sanctuary is led by Mama Squirrel or Danya. So she's looking at any soundscapes in the courtyards or in the entrance. She's also looking at wind instruments, so more sustainable ways to make sound. And then we have Museos, who's leading the shrine soundscapes. So here we're looking at any active sound experience we could have with artists and samples, but also maybe having a stage where people can perform, because that is something people come to the temple regularly. They do perform, and giving them actually a stage would be a new thing here. Yeah, that's it. If you want to, so if you're passionate about any of these topics, please contact the leads. They're all on Slack. And also here's the QR code and short URL for the sound design brief, where it's all written down and more info. So thank you so much for the 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Crane. Really appreciate the thoughtfulness of your perspective and leadership on sound. I love your diagrams with the speakers and your red zone and green zone, by the way. Amazing. One question. So everybody who's on this town hall, how can they get on Slack and contact you if they want to get involved with sound? Can we just make that really clear for people? So
On Slack, I think we contact the volunteer coordinator, or you just
Yep.
put your email into the chat right now, and then I invite you to Slack. How about that?
Perfect.
Thank you.
How about that? So if you're not on, love it. Perfect. So if you're not on Slack already, but you'd like to join Slack so that you can join the sound team, then please just drop your email in the chat. And then actually we have Julia on the line today. Thank you so much, Julia, who's been proactively managing a lot of our admin components, and she can get you onboarded onto Slack so that you can join this like wonderful human in his leadership of sound and our vision for sound at the temple. And Jack's great point. And if you're watching the recording later, why don't we drop an email address into the chat that people who are watching the recording can email after the fact? So I would propose that you email, thank you, Ajesh, volunteer@2024temple.com. And in the subject of your email, say, please add me to Slack. And then we will do great. Thank you. Thank you. So any questions before we move on? I want to give everyone the opportunity to respond to what Crane has just shared. Any questions, thoughts, reactions? Everybody feel clear on how to participate if this is something that you're passionate about? All right, clear messaging. Thank you so much, Crane.
And silence is one of the goals of the sound.
All right, we are going to hand it over to wonderful Kelly. And I just want to honor Kelly and say thank you, because Kelly organized this entire town hall this month and put all of us together and coordinated all the speakers and put together the slides, and has been such an incredible communications lead for Temple. So we're going to invite her to now join us and talk about where we're at with fundraising. I'm also going to be here to answer questions. We've got Brian on the line, and I believe Jack as well from our team. So we're going to move on to that piece of the agenda. So if we can just pin Kelly so we can see her as the speaker, then we can get started with that. There we go.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is not just me, let me tell you. Julia, our admin, has been so helpful. And one of the things that I have enjoyed so much about this crew is how organized everyone is. And for those of you on the call who are not on Slack or don't know what goes on behind the scenes, let me tell you, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts. And this crew has just energized me and made me feel so proud to be a part of something like this. And it's my duty and my job really to get you guys excited, but it's so easy to do because this has been a mainstay now, a part of our culture, a part of our Burning Man culture has been the temple. And with any project out there and any large project out there, we need good leaders, we need good crowdfunding. And so I want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what the temple means to our community. I'm going to show you a little bit of the snippet of this, and let me know you can hear the sound, okay?
It's like the sacred space within something that's otherwise quite hedonistic. I think there's a deep human need to let go of fears in a cathartic way. I think that's one of the reasons Burning Man in general resonates with people so much. Your consciousness in an early age, there's a building that you go to, whatever your religion might be, where you're supposed to give yourself to an emotion. People don't go to churches anymore, don't really have an organized religion anymore. And so I think the temple is filling this void. This helps you deal with things in your own way. for people. to
Kels, Kels, can you pause for a second, please? As the sound works extremely, is there a possibility you could share the sound through Zoom? So if you click on the share button right next to it, it's like this triangle up, and then it has like advanced sharing options. Because we hear the sound through your microphone and then through the
Oh, okay, sure.
Zoom filter that filters out everything but the voice.
Oh,
Thank you
okay.
so much.
Talking to the sound guy. Thank you. So how would I do that, Crane?
If you unshare and then share again, it gives you an option.
Okay.
I don't
Actually,
know,
that was the end of that video. So we'll go and do the next one, if that's okay. So some of the things that we fund through our crowdfunding is not necessarily really known very widely about all that goes into it. Every single donation really does count towards everything in the temple. So even if you think that it's just going to be just $1 here or there, it really adds up. And really the point is to get support from a wide variety of our community so we can understand that all of us together do create this temple together. And here is something that funding does go towards. So I'm sorry about the sound, but we're just going to have to deal with it right now because of time constraints. Sorry, Crane, our sound guy. So what does it sound like to you? Does it sound not distinct? Actually, this just has music. So that was by our lovely Rand, who created this video. And this is just one of the very many things that we're funding for this temple. We are trying to do an initiative. Actually, this has been an initiative that's been happening for years now to create a low footprint on our earth. And this is something that is very important to Burning Man and very important towards the temple as well. Something that we can all be a part of. And so I think because of time constraints, I'm actually going to ask Jack, who is our co-lead for fundraising, to talk a little bit about what his role is and what it goes on behind the scenes when it comes to fundraising. Like I said, there are so many moving parts when it comes to doing the temple. It is a huge job, as you can imagine. I've done my own projects, and let me tell you, this is 100 times. So Jack, what is it exactly that you do behind the scenes for fundraising for the temple?
Thanks so much. Mostly what we do is try and get Caroline in front of people so that she can ask them for money. That's our number one job. But seriously, it's a group effort with a lot of people. I'm co-chairing with Brian Wasserman. And the first thing, of course, has been the crowdfunder event. And we're coming up to the end of that. We're going to be talking about that later. A little work party designed by Adam. We're very close to our goal on crowdfunder. Two other major areas where we're working hard to raise money is first through events. We've right now targeted 5 cities in the United States: New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Austin, and Miami, as places where there are large groups of burners who may want to participate in events for fundraising. We have 2 primary types of events. One, we're doing parties that people are organizing. There's one happening in New York soon, actually this weekend. And we're bringing together 100 people. There's programming, there's activities going on. This is all organized by private individuals, burners who want to help raise money for the temple. And it's going to be a really successful event. We expect it to raise $30,000, $40,000, hopefully. We look forward to having these events in other cities. We're doing one in San Francisco, June 20th at the Battery, where we're also going to be having about 100 people attend at that event, and information about that will be going out soon into the community. We're also following that dinner at the Battery with what we're calling a Jeffersonian dinner, where about 20 people that want to donate at a larger amount will be invited to participate in a conversation about Burning Man with Carolyn, talk about the temple, talk about the values of Burning Man, the 10 principles, et cetera. And again, these are events where people are willing to donate a larger amount to also raise significant amounts of money for the temple. We're also hosting one in Paris in July. So we're taking this outside of the United States. And then we have some smaller events. Right now, we're organizing one in Park City, Salt Lake. that we hope will be happening in early to mid-May. And again, these are events where individuals are coming together saying, we'd like to give our time, bring together burners, bring together our friends and other people in the community that would like to donate to the temple build. And we're hoping to raise a significant amount of money from for the temple build from this. If you're interested in participating in any way with hosting an event or participating in events in those key cities, or have even other creative ideas if you want to host something on your own, anything you do that can raise money for the temple is a great thing. So if you have a DIY model where you'd like to put together an event for yourself and take that money and donate it to the temple, that'd be a great way to host a party, a great reason to host a party. So please participate in any creative, fully radical participatory way to make this temple a reality. The last thing we're also looking for, which happens every year, is significant large private donations. So if any of you on the call or people are interested in participating in funding the temple, it is we have nonprofit vehicle, so it's all tax deductible, and we look forward to supporting anyone with any donations they'd like to talk about providing for the temple build. You can contact me at jack@2024temple.com or through the volunteer site on Slack. And anything we can do to help you support the temple, we're happy to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack. And every single dollar raised for the temple brings us closer and closer to creating this sacred space where burners from all over the world can come together to heal, reflect, and celebrate. And your support isn't just about funding a structure. It's about nurturing the very soul of Burning Man and what we're about. And you could think of it as a ripple effect of positivity. Every donation, no matter how small, sends waves of energy throughout our community, inspiring others to join in, and it just amplifies our impact. So together, we're creating something really extraordinary, and it's rooted in our love for art and the spirit of Burning Man in general. So with that, I'll hand it off to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Kelly, for such a beautiful explanation and call to action. And thank you, Jack, for explaining our fundraising strategy and also ways that people can participate in hosting events and just raising funds for temple. I wanted to pause before we move on to the next item on the agenda and answer anybody's questions. Does anybody on the line have any questions about why we raise money for temple and what it covers, or anything else that we can help clarify in the spirit of transparency? I'll give you all a quick second. So while we're doing that, I'll just recap that we receive a significant grant from Burning Man, and that grant covers about 1/3 of the expenses of building the temple. So the rest is completely raised by us collectively as a community in this participatory way. Anton, would love to hear a high-level categorization of where funds are used. Absolutely. And we can also share a breakdown that's more granular following this conversation. But the primary way that funds are used is in sourcing materials for the temple. That's like the immediate need. So right now, the resources that we're raising are going directly to sourcing sustainable reclaimed lumber to build the components that are being built at the loom. The funds are also used to pay for that workspace at the loom. So we're paying below market rent to be able to build safely and collectively in that space. Then we're going to be spending on transportation to take those components, put them on flatbeds, send them to the playa or a staging area right outside the playa. So that's the third piece. We're paying for structural engineering. It's really important that we work closely with a structural engineer to ensure the safety of the structure and its integrity, and that we take into account the possibility of insane winds and storms and some of the things that we've seen over the past few years. So that fourth component of how we spend our budget is on structural engineering. And then the fifth component is going to be on lighting, power, and electrical. So we talked a little bit about, when we saw Rand's video, how we can make that greener, how we can make it more sustainable. We're using LED lighting, we're using solar power, we're doing everything we can to offset our impact. And then finally, there are other like administrative expenses, right? We want to do things like feed the crew on playa and provide water, right? So those expenses would fall into that administrative category as well. So I hope that's helpful to give you a high level overview of how the money is spent. Okay, great. Thanks, Anton. Sorry, my brother's name is Anthony, so I automatically went there. All right, so next we're going to hand it over to Adam, I believe, right?
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Adam, so if we can just spotlight Adam,
Yep.
I'll retract myself from the spotlight.
Can you hear me?
Yay!
I'm green. Yay. Hey, okay, so we're gonna do this quick because we're running out of time, but we're gonna do a work party on the heels of all the awesome overview that Jack just gave us. You're probably jumping out of your seats to ask your mom, your aunt, your kid, your sibling to donate, right? So we're gonna do that now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take 5 minutes and we're all gonna fire off at least one email, text, DM, post, anything, and see if we can move the needle. We're gonna do an experiment. Let's see if we can move the needle during this town hall together. So I put the link to some sample text in the chat. Hopefully that link is clickable to everybody. And if you click that, you'll go to a public doc where we have some. If you're like me, I get writer's block, especially when I'm on a Zoom call with a bunch of people I just met and I have to create a post. So Kelly, lovely Kelly, created a bunch of sample content here to help just get the wheels turning. By all means, make it your own. But there's some nuggets here to plant the seed. And the idea is for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to start a timer. Let's fire off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 post emails asking for folks to donate. And make sure you don't munge up the URL in that sample text because that goes to our campaign. All right, cool. I'm going to start the timer and I'm going to try to play some fun music. Oh, timers have been disabled. Okay, maybe you could start the timer, Julia, and then I will find some fun music to play.
One amazing note is that this link that you see to the crowdfunder is particular to us. So it's a referral link for the town hall. So in our next town hall, we'll be able to know exactly how much money we were able to raise from this work party, which is really cool.
Cool. All right, so let's take 5 minutes. Put on some thinking music. Let's see if this works. Someone give me a thumbs up if they can hear this.
Can't really hear it.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
That Crane over there is just cringing. Sorry, Crane. We're all amateurs. So while Adam is doing the music portions, I just want to share something from one of our people on the crew, Maria, who shared this with me just today about what the temple means to her. It's a sacred space where souls converge, emotions are laid bare, and healing begins. Each year, as I witness the profound impact the temple has had on individuals and our community as a whole, I'm reminded of the power of the art that touches and transcends boundaries. Supporting the temple isn't just about constructing the physical edifice, it's about nurturing our emotional response to Burning Man. Isn't that beautiful? I thought that was really nice.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, we have about 3 minutes left.
And while you're doing that, think about the first time you entered temple and what that meant to you and how you felt and how it resonated with you, or perhaps not the first time you went in, but the first time you really resonated emotionally. And maybe think about also the first time that you realized all the effort that went in behind the scenes with all of this. And if maybe you're part of a crew in the past, or you are a part of a big project, and all that goes into this is really out of love. It amazes me every single weekend that I go into the Loom, seeing these people spend their weekend with us building. It amazes me still after all of these years, seeing people just lined up to help. And they wouldn't do that if it didn't mean something really deeply personal to them.
All right, Carol's requested 2 more minutes. We're gonna give it to her. All right, Carol, how you looking?
Great. I just posted the story to our Temple of Together Instagram by request. So let me know if that works, everybody. Thank you,
Awesome.
Dania. You created a story. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. What did you find most effective? Like Facebook, Instagram, emails? What did you find you felt the most attracted to doing? Direct message? Okay, that makes sense, Anton. It's been found that like direct message and text messages are super effective in fundraising, even though they're very old school. So just like that personalized touch of someone who's already donated or who's already participating, sharing with friends is always like that heart-to-heart connection. So thank you for doing that.
All right. I think we're close to time, Carol. So I think off to Jesh.
Great. I just saw Sarah say you don't see the story. Do you see it now? I just pressed on it on Temple of Together's Instagram.
Yeah, never mind. I see it now.
Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Adam, for leading us in our work party.
You're welcome.
All right. I was just trying to share the story on Instagram, and it's a great opportunity to do that. It's super easy. Just go into your Instagram, share, and then reshare it to your stories. All right. With that, our call to action for volunteers at this moment. Again, this temple is built with volunteers. I'm a volunteer. You're a volunteer. We're all volunteers here. And this really comes alive in different ways, whether you are near the Loom, which is in Oakland, or if you're from further away, there are so many different ways to support and contribute. The ways I'm sharing right now are just some of the ways we know at this moment we need help. And at the same time, we're always available to collaborating on how can we expand further or new ideas to work on together. So we have under the planning, we need continued support with fundraising, with sourcing materials, with helping us understand our impact on the playa and as we continue to build. On the boat side, again, like carpentry, like if you're willing to come into the Loom with any experience, you are very much so welcome to come join us every weekend. We also have 3 new groups that have started. As Crane mentioned, there's sound arts, there's textile, and there's lighting. And all of these can, if you drop us a note as our email, which is volunteer at 2024temple.com with the subject, please add me to Slack, and then we can add it and you can see some of these groups and you can join them. We also will be having power, that's a power team that's underway, and there's more folks that can join there. We have Gravity, who's leading kitchen, and she's working on building out a team for kitchen. There's paper arts that hasn't been kicked off yet, as well as decor. And then other ways to support us right now, there's you can join the Temple Guardians, you can financially support us, you can provide coaching services, any other forms of healing arts. If you would like to prepare food for the crew that's pre-building, it's always really great to have nourishing ways to support the team. And again, please follow us on our Facebook group or join us on our volunteer page by 2024temple.com/volunteer, and we will be in touch shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajesh. And thank you for all of your leadership around community and volunteering. So at this point, we want to stay on for anybody who has any questions. We'll stay on for a few more minutes. And otherwise, for those of you who feel complete, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And thank you for joining our work party and for spending the time together to activate the temple and get us over the finish line. I'm really excited for Friday, and it will be a huge accomplishment and celebration for the team to have received all of these resources to do everything that we intend to do with Temple of Together. So thank you so much for joining, everybody. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. Hey, go ahead. Awesome. Feel free to ask questions, unmute yourself. You can put it in the chat. You can just go ahead and unmute yourself. And then if we can just remove the Q&A from the presentation so that we can see the people who are still here and we can have a chat, that would be great. And you can unpin me. We can just have a conversation all collectively.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Have a beautiful day. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Great job.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Kelly, for spearheading this beautiful town hall, for all the love that you put into this and organization. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in a month, if not sooner. Bye.
Bye, you all. Thank you so much. Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you,
Bye,
Kelly.
everyone.
Bye.
Beautiful town hall.